Hello people, my name is Sarah and in today's video I'm gonna be teaching you how to do mandalas because I know I'm there too. This quarantine is boring. So I'm gonna show you how to do some really fun activities throughout the next videos because I know my channel has been full of traveling videos lately, but I actually do some more stuff than that, and besides I don't think I'm gonna be able to travel this year. I'm gonna be uploading some videos about activities that I think you can do at home, which I enjoy. Well, I mean, I do. So I'm gonna teach you how to do super easy mandalas, or not easy, but alright. I just feel like my mom's hearing me and she's like, oh, she's messing everything up. But anyways, I'm gonna teach you how to do mandalas and some tips for beginners that really helped me when I was a beginner. So yeah, as you can see, I really love doing mandalas. Don't forget to, what was it? You know, subscribe, give a like, maybe check my Instagram down below, cause like, but yeah, anyways, I think I'm gonna start the video right now. Let's get started. To be honest, I've been doing mandalas pretty much my whole life. Well, no, but like a couple years. So I think now I have a couple tips that may help you because trust me, I was a beginner once. And when I looked for tutorials on how to do mandalas on YouTube, I didn't find any video that really helped me. So that's why I'm doing this. And I'm gonna teach you and give you my best tips to go from this to this. So we're gonna need a piece of paper, some pencils, a compass, obviously some pens, a ruler, and an eraser. I like using these pens that I found at an Office Depot in Mexico, but I think Office Depot in the States doesn't have these pens. So what you want to look for in a pen is that the ink dries quickly, because that way you won't make a mess of yourself on the drawing, of course. And that the tip is around 0.5 millimeters because I found that that's a correct thickness. So yeah. So my first step in the process of doing mandalas is to make like the guidelines. We're gonna use a compass and the ruler for this, and what I'm doing right now is delimiting my mandalas. So in this case I'm doing 3, and the circles are gonna work as the limit for each one. Something that's really important is that you have really clear where the center is, because basically that's where you're gonna do the designs from, and also your symmetry is gonna depend on that. Now, talking about symmetry, I like to do about 8 to 16 guidelines with the ruler. So what you want to do is draw some straight lines that pass through the central point and the edges of your circle, just like this. So this is gonna help your designs to be proportionate and equal. Well, as equal as possible because they're never gonna be the same. Unless you're perfect, but I'm not. So what I like to do with the compass now that I have some design ideas is just to use it as help to determine the height and make sure that all the designs are as similar as possible. Again, you do want to prioritize that, but it's not gonna be perfect. So now that you're doing your designs, you're basically sketching your mandala, which I really recommend doing in pencil first with the help of the compass and the rulers. Adjusting the paper to your stroke is way easier than adjusting your stroke to the paper, so don't be afraid of just turning the paper if you need to. I don't know why people don't think about this, but it really makes it easier. And now we're just gonna keep sketching until we have something that we're comfortable with. And of course, we are gonna need the compass to determine the height of your designs, and you need to use that ruler again, but you know what? It's gonna be worth it at the end. So a tip for sketching and mandalas in general is that in a mandala, you want to repeat your design. So for example, here I'm doing this kind of like pointy flower thingy, and I'm gonna be doing that again throughout the mandala. I'm also doing these like curved little designs, and I'm gonna be doing them again because having the same designs in one mandala can really bring the mandala together, and it brings a lot of harmony to it. Again, I'm using a compass because trust me, you can never have too many guidelines. And don't worry if you kind of mess up sometimes because again, that happens. So you just have to roll with it, alright? Sometimes the guidelines and the pencil can be a little bit bothersome, so feel free to erase the ones you don't need anymore. And also I think in mandalas the center can be a little tricky, so my only tip for this is actually to just leave it at the end of your sketch, because that way you can just combine it better with what you already did, and you can do some spirals, circles, or even put your signature there. So now it's my favorite part in the mandala process, which is to ink it. So I love this part. And don't sweat it if you don't really follow your guidelines. At the end, they are guidelines. So if you just want to change something, then go ahead. Sometimes I'm like, hey, you know what? I don't like this anymore, so I'm just gonna change it. Like for example, here I thought the edges of the flower looked a little bit boring, so I just added a little pointiness to it while keeping the similarity to the center. So before we continue with this design, I want to show you a really popular one in mandala speaking culture. So these are the overlapping mandalas. So we're basically gonna need our guidelines, which I already have prepared, like in a cooking show where they already have the fish cooked and everything. Well, this is my fish. So of course we're gonna need the guidelines, and what I like to start by doing is just using the guidelines to know where my curves are gonna be. So basically what you want to do now, it's like a normal mandala, and the only thing you want to pay attention to is that it makes sense that they connect. So for example, this little thing would connect here, and then this one would continue over here and connect here. And again, you want to use the guidelines to know where to connect them so that every single petal is as similar as possible. Okay, so now for the overlapping or crossing, you're gonna have lines similar to this, and preferably, oh, that word is hard. Preferably, you're gonna draw another line in the inner parts. So don't worry about doing this in pencil because again, don't panic, we're gonna erase this. So now we're gonna be erasing the part where the lines meet, and you can either make one overlap the other one, as I'm doing here, or maybe if you just want to connect them, then just don't make any line overlap any line and you'll be good. So now you can actually combine both styles in your mandala. So I'm gonna show you how to do that real quick and I'll be back. So now, different to other mandalas, in this style, it's really important that you really do pay attention where the ink goes, because if you mess up here, then you're gonna mess up the whole overlapping and crossing idea. So you do want to pay attention where the ink goes. I mean, I still mess up, and it's not a big deal if you do, but it's a little bit frustrating sometimes, so just pay attention. Now, a little bit of talk about designs. One of my favorite ones is lines, and I know it seems a little bit easy, but for some reason I really love how it looks from afar. So yeah, I just really love this one. There's a lot of ways to get inspired to the mandalas, but the most effective one for me is just looking at other mandalas. So of course I'm not gonna copy the whole thing, but sometimes I see a design and I'm like, oh, I like it, so I just incorporate it in my mandalas. You have to keep in mind that mistakes are almost inevitable, like Thanos. So for example, I messed up here and I did the lines where the lines weren't supposed to be. So the only thing that I have to do now is just try to incorporate this mistake and maybe change a little bit my design, but it's okay as long as you know how to adapt. And at the end, you can really just erase, add, and redesign whatever you want because there's really not a wrong way to do this. So another thing that has really helped me a lot is to design my details in pencil first. Don't worry, I'm not telling you to do the whole thing in pencil, but for example here, I'm gonna do this design, and then in the petals over here, I'm gonna be doing this design. And once I'm convinced with that design, I just have to do it one time in pencil to see how it looks, and then I do it again with pen this time. So this is a good way to try out different designs and decide which one are you gonna do throughout the mandala. Now basically the only thing you're gonna be doing is designing your mandala, so I'm gonna shut up and just let you see what I did with this one. I actually found a really nice way. I'm gonna call it the dot style. So first of all, what you want to do is to draw as many dots as possible in the center part of your drawing or your petal or wherever you're applying this technique, so that the last thing you're doing is drawing as little dots as possible in the outer parts, just as you're seeing. So it looks a little bit complicated, but it's really not, and it really adds a nice depth to the drawing. So finally, these are the steps for doing mandalas. Guidelines. So these are gonna be your best friends, guys. Then you want to sketch the main parts of the mandala and some designs. Then you're gonna ink it, which is one of my favorite parts, and then you ink the details, and then finally you're gonna erase all the things that you did in pencil. So actually something funny happened to me. I've been erasing with this little thing, and all along I had this big eraser, so don't be like me and do try to find a big eraser from the start, because trying to do it with a little one is just so annoying. Finally, we're gonna sign our art. So for me this part is really important because I actually end up posting many of this. So I try to sign inside and outside my mandala. So yeah, this has been my process of how to do mandalas. I really do hope you liked it. And don't forget, there's many ways of doing this. You can color them, you can do different shapes, sizes, and I just really love mandala art so much because it's super versatile. I actually have an Instagram account of notes and mandalas where you can follow me if you need some inspiration, so don't forget to check that out. So yeah, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and that you learned how to do mandalas. Also, I'm trying new camera settings. I don't know if you can tell, but like I'm so happy right now. I'm sorry for not uploading because I was doing some traveling videos as I told you, but then I was like, yeah, I want to like upload something else because like my channel is not only about traveling. But
AP exams happened.
So yeah. Anyways, I wish you the best of luck in these quarantine times. And as I told you before, I'm gonna be uploading a lot of videos of stuff you can do at home. So don't forget to stay tuned, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. And what you want to do is preferably